Yeah, meetings recording.
Press record, is it gonna record over something? Do I just press record?
I've got this.
I think it's constantly recording over something, just as long as somebody has downloaded it.
I wouldn't record over that.
I don't know, I just turned it off and back on.
Okay. We're recording on Zoom, so. Okay.
All right, well, let's start this administrative review meeting. It's 4 p.m. or a little after 4 right now. Or according to my computer, it's 6:02. Not sure which one to follow. What do you guys got? 4?
Yeah.
2. Okay, so on today's agenda, it looks like we got 3 items. The first item on the agenda is. Can you present it here?
Yes. So this is a single lot subdivision in Western Weaver. And what they would like to do is plat this 5.18 acre parcel. And the frontage is on 2550 South Street, a publicly dedicated street. And they're also showing a couple of things that were considered when reviewing this proposal, with the potential for public future public right of way easements. And also for future public pathway easements. And so with this proposal, we actually requested that the owner show that on the plat. And so what they've done is they've dedicated on the plat a 33-foot right of way easement along the north. And then also at 33 feet along the west edge. And then also with communications with the Hooper Canal Company, they are requiring a 25-foot canal easement through it. And that's a buried canal line. And so my conversation with Michelle over at the Hooper district was that they were going to bring a proposal to the board to make sure that it was okay with the Cedeno subdivision plat. Basically create a pathway, a 30-foot pathway easement on top of that 25-foot irrigation easement.
Okay.
And so it sounds like they were pretty cooperative, I guess, with that, or agreeable to that pathway easement. So what it would, in effect, what it would do is just an additional 5 feet of pathway easement from the Cedeno subdivision, and then also just change the label just to say, Hooper irrigation and pathway easement.
Will it be in the dedication language as well?
Yes. Yeah, that would be something that would be a change that would need to take place. And so you can see what I've put that in as a condition of approval. So the applicant was able to provide us with the appropriate will cert letters from Taylor West Weaver and also for irrigation, and they will be placing a septic system on this property.
Is the applicant the current owner?
Yes.
The applicant is Grange. So.
Yeah, that's their. So the owner, the applicant is Cesar Cedeno, and it looks like they're somehow affiliated with the Grange ownership.
Okay. And they're okay with that canal being having a pathway in the future?
Yes, the Cedenos are, yes. So, yeah, with that, the planning staff, after reviewing the submittal, the subdivision, we recommend approval with those 2 conditions. That is it.
Combining those 2 parcels together, right?
Yeah, it's also worth mentioning that through a discussion with the owner, I also made it clear that if they want to come through and get more density at some point, we're definitely going to require some, some additional subdivision improvements. So they're aware.
In that conversation with the owner, is that going to be annotated anywhere? In case that changes hands to a new owner?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have that mentioned on the plat.
Okay.
And I think if they're doing due diligence as far as if they're looking to get a rezone, then there's definitely some additional subdivision improvements required with the rezone.
Yeah, this map doesn't show anything but halfway through, so that's good. It's showing big streets that were needed. Small section line. Like a quarter. Okay. And I'm just merging this together. Tell me, is the front lot that has an address assigned to it, is that part of the subdivision right now? So is this an amendment?
Yeah, this is an amendment. So this is, so that front lot, and they're both just parcels at this point, so I vaguely remember doing a little bit of research, indicating that they do indeed need a subdivision plat to complete the lots.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Okay, well, let's, do you have any conditions on this?
Yeah, just two. Is the pathway requirement and also just review agency requirements. There are a couple of little things that need to be taken care of before we record.
You've got a 5-foot pathway easement. Did you mean 5 feet?
Yes, it's because that's in effect what we would be asking for of the applicant is just 5 feet, and then we would make it. We would change that label to say 30-foot pathway easement.
Oh, because that's 25 feet.
Mhm.
I got you. Footbridge Canal irrigation easement and.
So I should have a decision from Borchert on that easement, on the pathway easement. Pretty soon here, they were going to bring it before the board.
If we can't get them to agree on that within their easement area, then when this property redevelops, we'll focus on getting something just adjacent or outside of it. Hopefully they're okay with.
I hope so.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully they're okay with it because we got plenty of other pathways being planned along those canals, so. Okay, well then, let's go ahead and approve this subdivision plat. On the conditions that staff put in the staff report, including just a slight change to the verbiage in condition 2. Subdivision plat shall depict a 30-foot easement. How do I write that? A 30-foot easement that runs concurrent with the canal irrigation easement. Concurrent within, overlaps, whatever. And then and changes the dedication language to specifically dedicate that easement to the county. Or park district or other public entity that will maintain it. Okay. And then approvals made for findings in the staff report as well. Thank you. Okay, number 2. Item number 2, request for final approval of the Ridge Townhomes PRUD Phase 5, consisting of 12 townhomes in 3 buildings with private drives throughout, located at approximately 5286 East Moose Hollow Drive in Eden. Tammy will present this.
Okay. We've got an application history outlined in the staff report, but this is approximately 2.9 acres. The proposal is for 3 buildings with 4 townhomes each. This is in an area that will be serviced by Wolf Creek Water and Sewer, and they've provided letters to that effect. This consists of 12 townhomes. It's part of a CUP that was given approval back in 2013, located in the FR3 zone. This will be accessed from Moose Hollow Drive, which is a public right-of-way via private drives. So these townhomes will be surrounded by common area and private drives. It is, let's see, proposal layout is arranged in a way to provide occupants of the townhomes with views of Pine View and Mount Ogden. They are all 2 stories with limited common area and common areas surrounding these fourplexes. Architectural style is considered mountain modern and will vary in size from approximately 1,400 to 2,100 square feet with a maximum building height of 26 feet. Let's see. Staff has looked at this against their original CUP approval and standards outlined in both the general plan and our land use ordinance. And we would recommend approval of this subdivision. We recommend final approval. Now, if you look through the staff report, when this was first submitted, the land use authority was the county commission for final approval. However, that has since changed per state code. So land use authority for large subdivisions for final approval is now the planning director or acting planning director. That's why this is
County Commission, because it was a PRUD, right?
correct. Yeah.
Standards for roof pitches only place in the family dwelling, right?
Mhm.
Yes. And the representative for the applicant is online if you have any questions for him. Now they have submitted escrow engineered plans. We have a signed improvement agreement that's been signed both by the applicant and county agencies. That's ready to go.
These facades, I like these facades. They're a little more, they're like a fusion of Old West meets Mountain Modern.
Mhm.
You got a base, you got a body, you got a cap, you got those columns that go vertical.
And just so you're aware, Charlie, this is the last phase in this development.
Right, so my only question on this item here. I'm just looking for the history of this.
Mhm.
When was the last? So we got March 28th, 2023, recommendation of final approval granted by the Ogden Valley Planning Commission. Is that final approval of this project?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so planning commission already made an action on that.
Yes, yeah, their recommendation is included in here and it is verbatim the staff recommendation that was presented to them.
This is the last phase, huh?
Mhm.
Eric, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I think Tammy laid it out quite well. You know, obviously we're trying to just wrap this project up and this would be the last phase.
Okay. A little bit about the roadway, that's completely off the property, right? The road that's runs through. What's that property called?
Are you talking about this one here that
Yeah.
runs along this? Yeah, that's outside of their subdivision boundary. Mm-hmm. Now they do have an access road to a lift station that was approved a few years ago. Does that sound right, Eric? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, there is a lift station to the south that services the last 5 buildings. So phase 4, those 2 buildings are on that lift station. And that's Wolf Creek Water and Sewer as well.
That's right here, Charlie. Lift station is here. And the access road for it runs through here.
Okay, it just runs along that same
Mhm.
kind of quasi pathway slash maybe in the future street. Is that still owned by? Who owns that property?
Eden Valley Development, actually.
Correct. And that road, there's an easement for that access going down.
Mhm.
In the well, we're trying to figure out where exactly the wayfinding signs go for that pathway over there.
Mhm.
I couldn't figure out why the arrows pointed like they did.
Uh-huh.
Turns out that when they came in, was that happened so long ago that. it was
This
be-
wasn't,
Yeah,
oh,
and so this was this extension of Moose, what is it, Moose Hollow?
Moose
or-
Hollow, yeah.
Yeah, Drive wasn't even there, and. So that was kind of fun to try and figure out, fortunately for us, that we could replace them and. Or position them in a different spot. Not that that has anything to do with this project. Okay, conditions of approval?
There are none other than the planning commission forwarded the condition of approval for a state construct permit. From DEQ for drinking water.
That's something typically the planning commission gets involved in.
No, this was in staff original recommendations.
Okay.
So that's
Something that we didn't have at that point,
right.
but we have it now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go ahead and get it approved. It looks like, we'll approve this project based on the findings and one condition being satisfied. So I guess we could just do it based off of findings that condition number one has been satisfied. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Condition
Eric,
for the
we got
plan.
that right.
I'm sorry, it broke up right for a second. What was the comment?
The state construct permit for DEQ for drinking water.
Yeah, so the way the district has set it up with the state is they have the ability to write their own letters. But I would defer to Rob Thomas on that because I know they went through a process and.
Okay.
But yes, we will satisfy that requirement.
Okay,
They will.
in that case, if it hasn't been, let's just leave it on as a condition of approval.
Okay.
And then we'll bring the findings from the staff report.
Okay, thank you.
Check. Check. Two down, one to go. Consideration and, so this is number three, consideration and action on a request for design review approval for a public use trailhead. The project is located approximately 1900 27th Street. Or just outside of, I should say, Ogden. Looks like we've got someone in place of Marta. Felix,
Yes.
what do you got for us?
Yeah, so Eric Manning from Legal Pathways, is heading with this project to basically make some improvements to the top of 29th Street or 27th Street trailhead. Where this has been a long-standing issue. I know that there's parking that pile up, so their plan includes spaces for like 60 vehicles for parking. And they'll have a little bridge, they'll have a kiosk, they'll have a trailhead, marker. And similar to what was done on the 29th Street and the 22nd and 29th Street. This won't have a restroom though, from what I can see, the restroom is not part of the plan. But yeah, this is definitely definitely a needed feature because of the traffic that this area gets. But planning staff recommends approval of this design review application. With the findings in the staff report. And let's see here. As far as it looks like there was also a requirement that if there's any engineering requirements that may come into play that this proposal will need to conform to those.
Oh, I see, okay, that's that bullet point there. Agency review, okay. Do we need a signage plan for this? That's a good question. I don't know if I'm particularly concerned because they do say in their application that if they'll do a kiosk with any trail signage. They do say that they'll match the, essentially the motif of what's already happening up there on those trails, so. And they're the ones who have put most of that up, and it's nonprofit, so I don't think they've got any reason to put up signs that wouldn't be copacetic.
Yeah.
Can I approve this with the condition that one of those parking stalls has my name on
Yeah.
it? There goes it. Yeah, just kidding. Okay, let's go ahead and approve this, item as well. Looks like with the findings in the staff report and one condition, which is probably just more of a requirement than a condition. Proposal must meet all review agency requirements, including the requirements outlined in the engineering division review. Now, let me ask you, this is design review, right? Okay, design review. Not conditional use, okay. Good, okay, approved. I need a stamp or something. Gotta make a gavel noise. Okay, well, that concludes this meeting. We'll go ahead and adjourn. Thanks, Eric.
Here,
Thank you, guys.
Oh, he
Appreciate
didn't
you
leave.
including
There he
me.
is.
Say bye.
Bye.
I'm here. All right, cheers, bye.
Now I close this. Better.
Yep.
No, recording. Yes, recording. Stop.
Oh, at the bottom, end, bottom left, right, I mean, at the other left.
End.
Yeah, end meeting for all.
I thought.